what if your blessings come through raindrops?
What's up, everybody? We're back with another video.
Hi.
So the song you just finished listening to is a song I just listened to its entirety for the first time. And for some reason, normally when it comes on the radio, I normally turn it down. I'm really not interested into the song. I just don't really listen to it. But today I couldn't turn away from it. It was like, stay on there, listen to it. And I didn't know why. So that was the song you just finished listening to. And it just hit me in my heart and my mind to just listen to the song. And it didn't bring a tear to my eye, but it did make me feel like, man, you need to be, mindful of what you have in life. You have a wife, you have a family that loves you, and you always need to be mindful of that. And it was just weird how I just couldn't turn it down. It was just something told me to just listen to it, and I just thought it was just the weirdest thing. And I told my wife when I came home from work, and she was like, "What? You never listened to that song?" I was like, "No, today was the first time I listened to it from the beginning to the end."
And he made me listen to it. And I haven't been listening to Christian radio lately. I've just been listening to like books on tape and stuff. But every single time I hear that song, it makes me cry. And even when he played it today, I cried again. It's just a really touching song, and it definitely makes you count your blessings, because even sometimes when you're going through something rough, that's a blessing. And I've been reading a lot of material lately, and because I'm going through some things for myself and just trying to stay in the Word and pay attention to when God is talking to me, and just really absorb that and take it in and have a real relationship with Jesus. And this song really does it for me, because it's one line he says, and I highlighted it, "What if trials of this life are your mercies in disguise?" And it's so true. Like, sometimes we're going through something so heavy, and a lot of times it's not life or death, it's not the end of the world, but while you're in it, sometimes it feels really heavy.
Yeah.
And you're stressing out, you can't sleep, and it's really bothering you. But then if you can take a moment, like step back from it and pay attention to what God is trying to teach you, because I strongly believe that a lot of the things that we go through in life are lessons, and a lot of the times God wants us to hear something and learn something. And if you keep going through the same types of things all over again, problems with your job, problems in relationships, problem with friends, you have to start looking at yourself. It's not everybody else's fault. You have to start looking at yourself and say, what can I do to keep this pattern from happening in my life? And what am I doing to these people that make them react to me this way? And you have to really look at yourself. And I think that once you learn the lesson, you can move on from there, and God won't continue to give you that challenge, because you're not learning your lessons. That's why you're continuing to be challenged.
Yeah.
I hear people say,
I agree.
And I hear people say, God, why do you keep doing this to me? God's not doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself. You need to call on Him for strength and for guidance, and you have to know Him.
And listen.
And you know Him by, reading the Bible, going to church, just getting into the Word, being more compassionate and sympathetic to other people, and really paying attention to people.
Yeah.
And in your environment. And this song really touches me, and it reminds me to do that, because we all go through things, and
yeah, we do. At work, home,
wherever, yeah. And it just reminds you to just be quiet and take a step back. You don't need to ask everyone for their opinion on your situation.
Yeah.
Figure that stuff out for yourself, man. Talk to God. He will help you figure it out. Because all of the information you need is in the Bible. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, well, God didn't write the Bible. He never said He wrote the Bible. Yeah. No one's ever said God wrote the Bible. There are parables in there. There are all kinds of stories to help you through life. And if you just listen to the stories, read the stories, and relate them, you can find something in there that relates to your life. And Ron will tell you, I've been reading the Bible. I've been reading the Bible from cover to cover for the past 2 years. I'm still not done because I take a lot of breaks. But as I'm reading, like sometimes I'm laying in bed and he's falling asleep and I'm like, oh shoot, guess what I just read? This is in there. Like, isn't this crazy? Because everything is in there. Like, everything we need is in that book. I'm telling you. And, you know, you can be a half believer or you're on the fence. You don't know really what you believe. But if you start reading it, you don't have to think too much about it. Like, you don't have to go too deep in the religious thing and the rituals and all that stuff, because Ron and I will tell you, we don't care if you're Christian, we don't care if you're Muslim, we don't care if you're Jewish, we don't care if you're an atheist. If you're good people, you're good people. And, you know, we don't need to put those labels on people, and we just try to love people and be patient with people. You know, obviously we're human, people are going to get on our nerves, but, you know, ultimately we try to think you know, what can I do better? Because sometimes you have to take it off that other person and put it back on yourself. Like, I'm always having challenges with this person. What can I do? Or I'm always having challenges at work in this area. What can I do? Not like, oh, my boss is always on my back, or oh, my brother's always bothering me. No, you have to put it back on yourself and fix yourself, and then you'll start to see your relationships change. And it's just so the truth, because even at work, I had a really difficult relationship with a former team lead. It was very difficult. Like, I would even come home and tell Ron all the time, like, I don't want to work in this department anymore, and I just need to, like, find something else. And I started praying for her and for me. I would literally walk into work and say, Lord, please help me to have patience for her today. Please help me to find ways to love her. Please help me to just love her. And it was like magic. I started to care about her, and I started to put myself in her shoes. She's an older woman. She has a lot going on in her life. She's high strung. She has anxiety issues, and that stuff trickles over into her work. And so, you know, she's a micromanager, and I started to just love her better. And I noticed our relationship changed. Like it was like almost overnight, literally like a week later, our relationship started getting better. So I just say all that to say that, you know, you can have trials and situations in our life, and sometimes, you know, that might seem, you know, frivolous to some people or not that important, but problems are problems, and you don't need to weigh them. You know, people lose family members. Obviously, I can't equate that to a problem with a coworker, but you have to just realize that some things you just have to take a step back and get quiet and talk to God and ask Him what you need to learn in that situation. Because we always thank Him for our blessings, whether it be a new car or a house or people who love you, or you found money on the street, or whatever it is. We thank God for all those things, being able to go on nice trips. But are we thanking Him for the drama too? And we should, because there is a lesson in there, and He's trying to tell us something. And if we take time to learn it, then we won't have to deal with that again. Or if we do, we'll know how to deal with it better next time. And I think I said enough. And I had a lot to say.
She said a mouthful.
That song gets me. I'm telling you.
Well, what was the last thing you said? What's the last part you just said? I can't remember. You said something about. What was the last thing you just said?
I said a lot.
The last thing you just said. I can't remember.
I don't remember. You know, I have a bad memory.
Okay. I'll just wing it, y'all, because she pretty much said everything. So, drama. Like for me, I didn't start learning how to deal with drama. I didn't start learning how to deal with drama until this year, honestly. I wasn't good with drama. When drama came to me, I went to
You just didn't deal with it.
I just was like, yeah, whatever. But now, see, I'm not there yet, like my wife. She said she loved the female. She honestly just started caring for her. I ain't there
And
yet.
I still care for her. I'm not even in that department anymore. And sometimes I walk over there. I'm genuinely happy to see her.
I ain't there yet. But what I will tell you is I do pay attention when things start to happen to me that are negative. Instead of complaining, instead of whining about it, I actually look at the situation. I think about it. I pray on it. And then sometimes, not every time, but sometimes I do see the flaw either in me or the person or our relationship, because I don't want to blame nobody. Most of the time it can be because of a misunderstanding. So the song for me was, don't always be an idiot. Don't always just want to run into the fire and don't know what's going on. The song meant for me was, sit back, breathe, think about the situation. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just things happen that's out of your control. But guess what? Instead of you losing your temper and making it worse, or something's going on and you think you're the hero, sometimes you need to find out what's going on, whether in your life or a family member's life or friend's life. Find out facts first. And people do lie, and people do say this, and people do want you on their side, but you know what? You always got to think about, do you want to be involved or do you don't want to be involved? Whether it's yourself or someone else. And if you get yourself involved, you need to be all in. But if you're not involved, you need to tell that person or people, I don't want to be involved, and be true to yourself. I believe us as a people, I'm not saying everybody, a lot of us not true to ourselves. And I've learned to be more true to myself this year in all my life, and it helped me grow tremendously. And when I mean tremendously, it helped me grow tremendously. Once you start believing in yourself, once you start caring about, truly caring about people, and you really start being humble, because that was my problem. I wasn't humble. I was like, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 whatever. I learned how to be humble, started this year from January 1st till now, and I can tell you I'm more humble than I've ever been throughout my whole entire life. And once you become humble and once you start humbling yourself, things will change. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Things will change. You're not quick to snap on people. You're not quick to want to get into an argument. You're not quick to want to go fight somebody. You're not quick to go get your child and do whatever. You're not so quick. You try to reevaluate the situation and do your best to make it better. What I'm basically saying, when a lot of things are negative in your life, you have to find a way to make it positive. And that's all I got for you guys today. And I hope that helps somebody out there. I hope that hits somebody in the nerves out there. We just need more patience, y'all. We need more humbleness, y'all. And we just need to love more people. And I know that's corny. And I know people don't want to hear that. But if we had more love and we had more people that was humble, and either you were rich, poor, it doesn't matter. If you was more humble, had more patience, this world will be better. And I'm not saying I got all the answers, because I don't. I'm just telling you what worked for me. Because when I was young, I had a lot of problems, a lot of situations. But the more I humbled myself and the more I just stayed into, and we have faults. I'm not perfect. I still have a drink here and there. I'm not telling you I can go on. I'm not telling you I can go in front of a church and preach to thousands of people. I can't do that. But what I can tell you is I learned from my mistakes. Please just don't keep making the same mistakes. Learn from them.
And just remember to thank God for your blessings and your trials, and you really feel it in your heart, because when you thank Him for them and find the blessing, like when you're going through something, try to find the blessing. It's the same thing as people say, find the bright side, but find the blessing, because God is trying to teach you something. And if we get quiet and stop running here and there and everywhere, getting everybody's opinion on our situation, get quiet and get God's opinion, and you will feel supported by Him, and it will work out.
Each one teach one, y'all. We out.
Bye.
If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings.